Good morning, everybody. I am Anusha of CSC Department, IARE. Today, we'll be discussing about data types, variables, and constants, scope and lifetime of variables, operators, operator hierarchy, and expressions. In the previous class, we have seen about the various OOPS concepts. So, about classes and objects, data abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, and all. So, in today's class, we'll be discussing about data types and scope and lifetime of variables, etc. So, what is a data type? As we have seen in C programming also, the whenever we declare a variable, whenever we want to assign some memory, we have to declare a variable. So, when we declare a variable, in Java, when we declare a variable, when we want to use a variable, we should always first declare it. So each variable will be having its own type. It may be an integer or a character or a float, etc. So every variable which we use will have a type. Let it be a variable or an expression or anything. It will be always having a type. Okay, so and also in Java they will be also checking for type compatibility. That means you have a variable which is defined as integer. Into that variable you can always assign an integer only. You cannot assign a float or a character into it. In such case it will be throwing an error. So that's why Java is called as a strongly typed language. Now there are 8 different types, primitive data types in Java. They are classified into integers, floating point numbers, characters, and Boolean. So under integers we have the byte, short, int, and long, which are mainly used for whole valued signed numbers. Whereas floating point numbers uses it make use of float and double, wherein it is used to store elements with decimal part or fractional part. The characters are to store characters and symbols. We use the data type character, and to store true or false values we use Boolean. This Boolean will include only true or false. Only these two values are supported by the Boolean data type. Now, as I told you, integer is of 4 types. They are byte, short, int, and long. This byte is mainly used in networking. Like when we want to transfer data through a network, we will be transferring the data as binary numbers, and they are generally, to transfer such data, we generally go for byte. Then short is a 16-bit type, and it is the integer which is mainly used in our examples and in our real time. We mainly go with the integer data type. And long is used to store when the data is large enough, which cannot be held inside the int or short. And integers does not support unsigned positive only integers. Java does not support unsigned positive only integers. It supports both positive and negative values. Now this is the width of the integer types. Long is taking about 64 bytes. Then int is taking about 32. Short takes about 16 bits, and byte takes around 8 bits. And this is the range of those numbers, of those data types. Then we have the floating point data type, wherein it supports double and float. These both are having fractional part. They have the decimal part to be used. When you have the numbers with decimal part, we go for float or double. The float is single precision the float is single precision with 32 bits, and it supports up to 6 to 7 decimal bits, and whereas double is 64 bits and it is called as double precision, which supports up to 15 to 16 decimal digits. Now, to store characters, Java uses Unicode to represent characters, and they are of 16-bit length. This Unicode is used so that it supports almost all international character sets, which is found in all the languages used all over the world, and the range of character is around 65,000. Next one is the Boolean, which uses only two types of values. Which can accept only two type of values. They are true or false, and these are logical values. They are used for logical. They are logical values, and they are used along with relational operators or conditional expressions. Now, how will we declare a variable in Java? So, variable is what it is the basic unit of storage of a program. It is the basic unit of storage. The variable it is defined by the combination of an integer, a type, and an initializer. This initializer is optional. So, this is the syntax of declaring a variable. So, you specify the type, the integer name, the identifier name, the variable name. That variable may be assigned some values, and you can have multiple variables in a statement. So these are the different various examples of declaring variables. Here we are declaring three integer variables A, B, C. Here again we are declaring three integer variables, of which we are initializing D and F. And here this is initialization of a byte variable, a double variable, and a character is initialized to character X. Next is scope and lifetime of variables. So the scope is something which determines the visibility of the program. We have variables to be declared in any block. You have the Java program declared inside the class. Inside class we have the main. Inside main we may have statements, and you may have if blocks, then while loops, etc. So the visibility of the variable is confined to particular block. So here what we have, this main block, the scope of main blocks is completing here. It starts from here and it completes here. So all the variables which is defined inside the main can be used within the whole block of main. It is visible all over the main. But if you define any block inside, any variable inside the if block or inside the while block, then they are confined within that block only. So if we have an int x defined here, this x cannot be used inside the while loop unless it is defined over here. If we define x in the main loop, in the main block, then its visibility is all over the program. And also, if we have multiple functions, multiple methods in that program, then the variables used inside one function is not visible in the other function. So, the Java program allows variables to be declared within any block. It is a block that defines the scope of the variable. Each time you start a new block, you are creating a new scope. The scope determines what objects are visible to the other part of the program. It also determines the lifetime of those objects. So if we have a variable, say x, declared inside the if block, once this block completes and execution comes to the next line after the if, the lifetime of x is gone. It will be dead. It will be removed. So that is why it cannot be accessed after this point if that x was defined inside that if block. So the variables are created when their scope is entered, and it is destroyed when their scope is left. Variables declared within a method will not hold their value between calls to that method. Also, a variable declared within a block will lose its value when the block is left. Let's look into a program. So let's look into this program. Here we have the class named scope. This class scope is starting here and ending at this point. And we have the main method. This is the main method. We have the main method here. It is starting here and ending at this point, So we have a variable x defined inside main, and it is initialized to x. Now we have an if loop, if block. We have an if block. So it is checking whether the value of x is 10 or not. So we have already initialized the value of x as 10. So this condition is true. Since this condition is true, it will come into this block. It will come into this line. So at this point, we are initializing another variable y to 20. So since x is defined over here, its visibility will be all over the main block. It can be accessed in all these points. Whereas y is defined inside the if block. So the y's visibility and scope will be only within the if block. So if block starts here and ends here. It starts here and ends here. So the visibility of the y variable is only within this if block. So what happens is, when we try to access y outside this, here we can find an error. See, it is displaying y cannot be resolved into a variable. This error is because the y is not visible at this point, since y is defined inside the scope of inside the if block. So its lifetime is still here, and the scope of y is also only within this block. Next, let's look into the operators and operator hierarchy. So these are the various arithmetic operators available in Java. We use plus for addition, minus for subtraction, star for multiplication, slash for division, percentile for modulus. This is the plus operators for increment. Plus equal to is for addition assignment. That means if we have x plus equal to 5, let's say x plus equal to 5, and x value was 0 initially. So x plus equal to 5 indicates that x is equal to x plus 5. That means 0 plus 5, which is 5. Similarly, we have the subtraction assignment, where if we have x minus equal to 5 and x was 5 initially, then x is equal to x minus 5. The meaning of this statement is x is equal to x minus 5. Similarly, we have multiplication assignment and division assignment, modulus assignment and decrement operator. So now let's discuss about prefix and postfix form. So this is the prefix operator. Why do we call it as prefix operator? Because the operator is present before the operand. Here we have y equal to plus x. So this plus operator is present before the operand x. So this is called as prefix form. Now if we have y is equal to x plus plus, then it is postfix form, since the operator is present after the operand. So this is prefix and postfix. Now let's see how it works. So here we have, let's say we have x is equal to 1 and we have y is equal to plus x. So how it will work? So here what it does is, first it will do the operation increment, and then after that increment, whatever value is available in x will be stored into y. So what happens? X is 1. So x will be 1 plus 1. So 1 plus 1, so it will become 2, and to y 2 will be assigned, which is equal to 2. So this 2 will be assigned to y. Okay, so this is prefix, wherein the operator occurs before the operand. So in prefix operator, the operation will be done first. Okay, the operation will be done first, then that value will be used for the expression. Whereas in postfix form, we have let's say y equal to x plus plus. So, and x was initially 1. So what happens here? When x is equal, here it will use the value, then the value of x will be incremented. So y will be assigned 1 first, which is obtained from x, then x value will be incremented to 2. So this is about prefix and postfix expression. Prefix form is wherein the operator is available before the operand, and postfix expression are postfix is wherein the operator will be present after the operand. Now, these are the various relational operators available in Java. We have the equal to, not equal to, greater than symbol, less than symbol, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. Then, these are the bitwise operators. We have the bitwise not, bitwise and or, bitwise XOR, then shift right, zero fill, shift left, bit and assignment, bit or assignment. It is same as plus this operator, like it will do the operation and then perform the, it will perform the, if you have like say A and equal to B, then it does A equal to A and B. A is equal to A and B. So this is same as bitwise and assignment is like this. Similarly, we have bitwise or assignment, exclusive or assignment, then shift right assignment, zero fill assignment, and left assignment. Let's look into an example. So here we have the class bitLogic and the main method. Here we are initializing A is equal to 3 and B is equal to 6. B equal to 6. So, in our example, we have the bitLogic, which is we have the class name bitLogic. We have a main method. Here we are initializing A to 3 and B to 6. So we are performing the bit logic, right? So the binary of A is 1 1 and binary of B is 1 1 0. Here we are using a method integer to binary string. So what we are using this method. So this method, what does it do? It will convert the variable which is being passed to it into its binary. Okay. So here we are passing A. So this A will be converted to its binary. A was 3, so A will be 1 1. B was 6, so it will be 1 1 0. Okay, so here so B value is 1 1 0. Now what we are doing? We are performing. So here we have A and B, and they are converted to. So we have integers A and B, and they are being converted into the binary form. So we have integer to binary string of A. So what is A? A is 3. Its binary value is 11. Next we have a binary string. We are converting the binary, integer by B to binary. So B is 6. Its binary is 1 1 0. Now we are performing the bitwise OR operation. So what will be 1 1 1 and 1 1 0? So OR means we get 1 1 1, right? So this C value will be 7. So C's value will be 7, and that value is converted into binary, and we get the binary of 7. Similarly, we have the AND operation. Since 1 1 and 1 1 0, when you add 1 0 and 1 and 0, and is 0 1 1. So you get here we have 0. So this is 2. So cut, sir. Cut from AND. I'll explain this once again. To perform the AND operation, to perform the AND operation, we have 11 and 110. So this is A and this is B. Now A and B means 100, 111, So we get this as the binary. So we have 2 as its binary, and so that value will be stored into D. A and B, this values integer will be stored into D, and we are getting, when we are calling integer to binary string, that value is converted into binary and octal. So then next we have the XOR operation. We have the XOR operation wherein we have 011 and 110. So we get, when you XOR it, we get 101 whose binary is, whose integer is 5 and binary is this. So when we convert to binary string, you get it as 101 and its binary is stored into E. So here what it does is, whatever integer we have, that integer is being converted into binary. To convert it into binary, we have the method named as integer to binary string. Okay, so when we use these binary operators, it takes the bitwise the integers number in bits, and its operation will be performed. So A was initially 3, A was stored to 3 and B was stored to 6. So once when you convert it into binary, you get 11 for A and 110 for B, and its corresponding XOR or and OR operations are being performed, and they are being stored into its corresponding variables. So this is how the bitwise operator works. Next we have the Boolean logical operators. These Boolean operators, these are the Boolean operators: logical AND, logical OR, logical XOR, then short circuit OR, short circuit AND, NOT, AND assignment, same as before, XOR assignment, equal to, not equal to, and ternary. So these are the Boolean operators. Now let's look into an example of Boolean operators. So here in Boolean operators, we have defined two variables. In Boolean operator, in this program, we have a class Boolean logic, and we have two variables A and B, which is set to true and false. A's value is true and B is set to false. A is true, B is false. So when we perform this, this is OR operation. So true or false means you get true, right? You get true. So C is stored as A or B. So into C, it will be storing true. So to C, it will store true. So A or B, we got it as true. Similarly, D is A and B. So A and means true and false means it will be false. So into D, you get false. So A and this is A and B is false. Then A XOR B is again true. A XOR B is true. Then this is the expansion of XOR. So which is again true. And not A means A was true. So not A means it will give as false. So these are the various operators, which Boolean operators used in Java. Next is operator precedence. So in operator precedence means which operator should be executed first when you find it in an expression. Let's say we have an expression x plus 2 star y plus plus slash 5, which is assigned into t. Okay, so we have an expression like this. So we have to see which operator should be executed first. So according in Java, this is the table of operator precedence. So we have first the postfix notations having the highest precedence, and equal to operators, and these operators are having the least precedence. So we have to start with these operators and follow down this. So first, if we have a postfix expression, first we have to evaluate that. So we have, let's say x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 1. So we have x, first we have to execute the postfix. We have to execute with the postfix notation. So y was 0, sorry, y was 1, so y will be 2 now, y plus plus. So we'll get what? X plus 2 star 2 divided by 5. So next is what? Next is x value was 0. So we can, that also can be assigned. So 0 plus 2 star 2. Now this is the expression that we have. After this plus, after plus plus operator, the next precedence is for prefix operator. Since we don't have, we can go for star. Next is the star is having the highest precedence of all these. So in this operator, star is the next one with highest precedence. So we perform this. So you get 0 plus 4. Then the final answer will be 4, which is assigned into t. So finally we get t as the value. T contains 4. So this is the table which we have to follow when an expression with multiple operators are present. So that's all for today. In this video, we have discussed about data types, variables and constants, scope and lifetime of variables, and operators, operator hierarchy and expressions. So that's all for today. We'll meet you in the next session.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.